Hello, everybody, and welcome back to NCAA 2004. We're here in the fourth episode or part of our series taking over the Crimson Tide in our quest to win as many, if not more, championships than Nick Saban. We have mixed results so far through the first four games. We are 2-2 on the season, and that is taking us into another SEC matchup against the Arkansas Razorbacks. So it's a mucky day here at Bryant-Denny Stadium, but for some reason, this game always seems to do that. It always seems to give very gray, rainy, just disgusting games. I don't know. I feel like it happened a lot in the Northwestern Dynasty, too. I just never really called it out. But either way, so we are heading into this game following a few kind of back and forth, weird, mucky games. With the likes of USF, the Oklahoma Sooners, the Kentucky Wildcats, and, of course, Northern Illinois. So we sit 0-1 in the conference right now. Not really any conference play has really gotten started for a lot of teams, especially across the college football landscape. But, the SEC is just built different. They do things a little bit differently. So we've already got two SEC matchups just loaded at the front end of our schedule, and we even have a out-of-conference game as our very last game on the schedule. So things are just weird. I do not think the game will even allow us to schedule a schedule like that again in the following years, so maybe we can take advantage of that and make an even easier schedule, but let's try and just get through the schedule that we have now, because this is not going to be an easy game. Arkansas should be a pretty formidable opponent against us, just like Kentucky was. So they're only one spot out of being ranked in the top 25, and we are sitting in the 40s. So we got a lot of work to do here, and we got a lot of work to do on the field, but that big old pass is going to help out quite a bit as we have now entered into Razorback territory off of a big reception by number 84. And that puts us just outside of the red zone here on a 3rd and 2 late in the first quarter. So Neptel's going to drop back, step up in the pocket, and unload one along the sideline. And somehow our running back is able to come down with it. That was a very tightrope-esque play to make on the sideline, but he did manage to do it. So on 1st and goal in the I formation, we're going to hand it right off to the fullback, and he's got plenty of space to bust right into the end zone for the first score of the day for your Crimson Tide. So taking an early lead over the Razorbacks as the first quarter comes to a close here at a packed house in Tuscaloosa. Another red and white team, by the way. I think I mentioned that in another video, but playing another red and white team, so this color clash is just really, really ugly. But we get a massive pickup here on, I believe it was 3rd down, from our running back as he gets close to the 20-yard line, gets us way more than what we needed, and that's why we love him. So on a 1st and 10 now, once again, just outside of the red zone for your Crimson Tide offense, we're going to hand it off to the running back, and he's going to find a hole just on the left side there, in the C gap, as they call, and he's going to get just a handful, just a nice pickup, a nice gain. So he's very effective on the field of getting us just exactly what we need when we need it. So in a short yardage situation, however, I just jinxed him. That was an announcer's jinx, as he cannot get to the sticks and pick up the first down. So Arkansas's defense may be starting to fight back just a little bit here. They can't sit down forever like that, but on 3rd and 2, we're going to go with a nice little trick reversal play here. And number 3 had the yardage and then stepped back maybe to try and redirect here, and then gets brought down going backwards. So I don't know what the spot is going to be here, and it's a pretty bad spot. So 4th and 1, we're going to have to line up again on offense, and this time we get more than enough from 21 as he busts inside the 5-yard line. They're probably going to mark him down right at about the 5-yard line, so can't be too upset with that. But so it's going to be 1st and goal now from about the 6, and we're going to give the 21 again, who redirects, tries to spin around in the middle of the field and can't quite find an open spot. So we're going to blow a timeout here because we're going to try and manage our time, I guess, to try and get into the end zone. With a minute 48 left to go, we have plenty of time to get into the end zone. Probably should be trying to kill some so Arkansas doesn't have enough time with the football, but this is the CPU that we are relying on. So this is sick Naben that we're relying on. So once again, we cannot bust in it to the end zone, so that's going to make it 3rd and goal. Arkansas's defense looking to stand tall here, but they cannot finish the job as 21 gets stuck on a block here and eventually finds some open space to get across the goal line for our 2nd touchdown of the day. And we now take a 14-0 lead over the Razorbacks here in Tuscaloosa. Just a nice little run play. A nice little simple play on the goal line. Goal line offense is looking pretty solid, so I'm happy about that. So on 1st and 10, again, we have another opportunity with the football, and finally we find number 2 for the first time today, at least first time that we're calling today, as he picks up a first down. And again, we're going to head back to that same side of the field. However, it's going to be number 80 this time, not number 2. So we're running a quick, basically 45-second drill to try and get some points here before the half, as Arkansas's offense has been completely anemic so far in this game. So on 2nd and 3, quarterback's going to flip it to the other side of the field now, and I believe that was 21 again out of the backfield. So he's been rather efficient, not just on the ground, but also through the air. And speaking of efficiency, did you see that stat line for a quarterback, man? Number 12 is absolutely dialing him up today. So we're going to run a hurry-up type of look here, wasting a lot of time, though. I would imagine at this probably time, well, no, we put the running back in motion, so we are going to run a play here. Number 12 is going to find another open target. It's number 3 who hauls that one in here, and we're going to blow a timeout and try and nail this one through here, kicking it from right on the Arkansas 20. So it's a nice chip shot for our kicker, and he nails it through with 1 second to spare. So 17-0 is going to be your score after 1 half of play here. Man, things are looking good from Tuscaloosa. A lot better than they looked against the Kentucky Wildcats. So I like our odds quite a bit. So on 1st and 10 now in the third quarter, we finally get a look at Arkansas's offense that hasn't really done much of anything, but now they are cooking up something. At least finally on offense, they're finally cooking something up here. As it's a big pass that's going to get them inside the red zone, and they're finally moving inside Crimson Tide territory. Look at that wobbler, man. Just a wobble. I mean, he was on the run, threw it off the foot. You know, they always make the quarterbacks, the CPU quarterbacks do some crazy acrobatic type stuff, whether it's realistic or not, and it's typically never realistic. So on 1st and 10 now, just inside the red zone, they're going to hand it off here, and it's not going to go much of anywhere, really. So, and there you see the rushing comparison. We've been a much more efficient team running the football than Arkansas has. I mean, just one of the many contributing factors probably to why the Razorbacks are struggling so much against us. So 2nd and 8 here, the quarterback's going to roll out here, going to try and find some open space here, and he does. He finds a receiver somehow in a mess of about 4 Crimson Tide players, but somehow number 80 is the one who comes down with it for the Razorbacks. It's the tight end, I believe. So a really just gross play all around. Their quarterback's trying to roll out, but on 1st and goal now from about the Alabama 7, it looks about. So quarterback's going to drop back. He's going to try and roll again, man. He's a pretty big guy trying to roll around like that in the pocket, but he does find an open player who does has enough space to just walk into the end zone. So Arkansas finally answers back to this Crimson Tide offense as he hits, looks like maybe the fullback he hit out of the backfield, who just creeped up into the end zone grass for the first score for Arkansas. So 7-17 is going to be your score here, but we are once again cooking on offense here late in the third quarter. If we can maybe add one insurance score, we might be in good shape, and that is a humongous pickup that's going to help us do it as we now find ourselves at the Arkansas 40, and Coach is not happy. He's just not happy. Said, how on earth could we let that slip through our hands? How could we let that offense do that to us? And man, you've been letting it happen to you guys all game long, as we've pretty much been doing whatever we want offensively for the most part. It hasn't been a complete perfect showing, but there aren't many areas of critique that I could really give. So on 3rd and 4, we've worked it into inside the 35 now, and our quarterback's going to try and roll out and rip a zinger, and it just absolutely sails past anyone in the vicinity into the grass. So on 3rd down now, number 12 just about gets nailed and gets rid of the football about a half second early. And avoids the sack or maybe even the strip sack, but he gets absolutely clobbered. So that drive comes up empty-handed. So on 3rd and 12 now for Arkansas, and it is a pick. So this one's going the other way just after we gave the ball to Arkansas. I think that might have been a 4th down that we even tried. Arkansas got the ball back in and just hands it right back to us. So we don't lose any ground, maybe just some time here now in the third quarter, and that really only hurts Arkansas at this point. But number 12 now dials up one to a wide-open receiver, and there's no one in front of him, and he's going to go into the end zone. It's number 84 again, who had a big catch earlier in this game, and now he finds himself in the end zone to get us on the scoreboard once again in the second half, for the first time in this second half. So we finally strike again. So any sort of comeback hopes you might have had as a Razorback fan, just put them to rest, because we come up big. So at the end of the third quarter comes, 24-7 is your score, and we are looking pretty darn good against these Razorbacks, but they still have something up their sleeve with just a little over 2 minutes left to go. It's a deep ball, a bomb, and that receiver's trying to shimmy away from the one defender in the vicinity. He can't do it, but he he does have the football inside the 10, so it is a humongous pickup for the Razorbacks, and now they have goal to go. They're going to go with another trick reversal like we had earlier in the game, and it's going to work for them as well. So for future reference, if you're going to play this game, I guess look for that play, because it seems to be pretty gosh darn effective in a goal to go situation. So as number 81 for the Razorbacks, just absolutely mauling our defense, by the way. He dwarfs anyone on our defense, man. Look how big he is. So Arkansas does answer back here. 14-24 is your score. We have a 3rd and 3. If we can just get the first down, we could probably put this football game away. I'm going to give it to 21, and it looks like he was a bit short, about a yard short, and he is. So the clock is going to continue to run here. No timeouts being called, and we're just going to keep burning clock, but we're going to keep the offense on the field. No running back in the backfield, as it's 4th and 1 now. So this game's about over, but we still got to see if we can get victory formation, and for some reason we throw for it. I guess maybe because we were close enough. It's not like we had to, but we had to run something, and we do pick up the first down. So that is going to end the ball game for us as we take victory formation. Following that completion, we don't try to run the score up because we got nothing but class here in Tuscaloosa, okay? We don't run the score up. We play with class. So Arkansas is going to take a big old fat L in conference play. And now, if you remember the graphic from the beginning of the video that showed our conference record at 0-1, and Arkansas is at 0-0, maybe we will now surge up in the rankings or in the standings over Arkansas with our 1 conference win and their now 1 loss. So here is a breakdown of our stats here. We outpassed Arkansas by quite a bit, just outgained them overall. A little bit better on 3rd down, but not too crazy. We went for it on 4th down 3 times, man. Just crazy. 3 freaking times. Quite a bit of turnovers for both teams here, but nothing too cataclysmic for either team. I don't think, I mean, I guess you could really kind of focus on the turnover battle if you want and blame Arkansas's loss on that, but honestly, we were just kind of dialed in here, man. Our quarterback did so freaking good through the air that it's hard to complain, and so did our running back, man. 77 yards. That's probably his best performance of the season, I would venture to guess, and 5 pancakes from our reigning All-American left guard is also a great thing to see, so we were really firing on all cylinders, so that I haven't simmed forward the week, so it still says we're 40, but we'll see after this next video exactly where we're at. But the next one is a big one. It is against number 12, Georgia, the Georgia Bulldogs, and this is not the Georgia Bulldogs of today, but it is very much still a very good Bulldog team, so we're going to need everyone on the road here in Athens, Georgia to help root on the Crimson Tide against the Georgia Bulldogs.